So the reason lot of brands, lot of brand custodians such as all of you have not attended to this is not because they are negligent custodians of the brand. It is because it is difficult to do this by throwing people at the problem. What we mean is that, if you have, let us say, 500 outlets, right? Each branch has got 70 variables to manage, and you have five five platforms, right? So that is about 35,000, right? 35,000 times 5 times, that's about 1,75,000 data points that you got to manage. This problem is further complicated because a lot of times search platforms which have been built on user generated content change these things, the listings, by allowing users to change phone numbers, allowing users to change addresses, allowing users to change the names, allowing users to also change the status of the store. It is possible that 4 or 5 people acting in concert can make the SBI, State Bank of India office in South Bombay, say temporarily closed, right? And there are a lot of things that can happen that will constantly changing this. And if we have, let us say, 1,200 reviews that are coming in, and if we enable GMB chat, which you can do today, and you can allow people to chat with you through Google Maps, right? And you have 2,800 chats happening, which is happening today for some of the companies we are working with, hundreds of chats a day, right? Now, on your own, it is impossible by doing it without tech, because you need to be on that listing to know that there is a chat happening on that listing. So you need to have an army of people to be able to do that, right? So both managing the listings, optimizing them, know across multiple platforms, managing reputation, reviews and ratings, managing digital engagement such as chats, all these things become extraordinarily cumbersome and complex and impossible unless you adopt technology and AI, right? And you can see this one, right? You have completeness and accuracy of these listings, supportive citations and optimization, ensuring flux and responsiveness and reviews and ratings, which is what will determine this portfolio ranking, right? And doing this across multiple platforms is where the challenge is, because it just cannot be done, right? And this is where it makes sense to invest in the tech and AI. AI means, for example, we need to have a way in which to be able to show that a particular profile of a listing, how well is it indexed on the hyperlocal search platforms for them to be ranked high? How would you know that? You need to have AI to be able to say, to calculate, to reverse engineer the search algorithms to say, okay, this particular listing has got a rating of, let us say, out of 1 to 100, a rating of 45. That means that it is 45% good. And you will lose out to a profile of a competitor which has got a rating of 80%, right? So how do you determine these ratings? For that, you need AI that seeks to simulate how the search algorithms behave and come back and give you a physical report saying that this listing has got these issues. This listing has got reviews that have not been responded. This listing is the NAP values are not synced across platforms, or there are no inside photos. Operating hours are missing, right? And that you got to do it for 500 stores, how many other locations you have. Once you do that, all these things will increase. Search ranking will increase, profile views increase, phone calls will increase. But this effort is a worthwhile effort to take, because initially it is very difficult, but if you do it well, it is a gift that keeps on giving, because you will profit from it every single day and paying nothing, zero, right? So if we believe that the single metric for any business to succeed is LTV over CAC, which is lifetime value of a customer divided by the customer acquisition cost, search platforms will deliver to you a customer acquisition cost that is a 1/5 to 1/10 the cost, the CAC that you get from anywhere else. We know, for example, in the NBFC industry, if they were to pay money to get on any medium, it would be between 150 rupees to 400 rupees. On search, they get it for 35 rupees because they don't pay, right? So that is the importance of using deploying technology and AI, and to have API integration to the search platforms, right? If you don't have API integration to Google, API integration to Bing, API integration to other search platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp, you will not be able to manage this at scale. So say, suppose you are like in the case of City Union Bank, tomorrow they increase the FD rates to 8.2%. And they want to tell the world, come to me because you get the best FD rates. Now, how will they broadcast this to 750 of their listings across multiple platforms? You can't have people go to each one and upload it, right? 750 times 5, 3 platforms, 4 platforms, that's 3,000, right? What API integration and tech will do is you upload it, that image, and you click once, and because of API integration, it will automatically update this listing across all the 750 listings, 750 branches across all the platforms in one click. And that's the power you have to be able to do that. And if the reviews coming, they'll all come in automatically into one place from where you can respond. If there are chats coming, they'll all come into one interface from where you can respond. From there, you can use AI to analyze the sentiment, right? To analyze the sentiment of these things. So there's a lot that can be done. So what we can start, what we can offer you is at no obligation to use our services or platform, nothing. You can get a free hyperlocal audit for your brand. There are two things that we'll do. One is to do a profile health check for your listings by doing NAP check, which is a name, address, phone number check, 50 plus data elements, primary category, secondary category. It's like a physical checkup. It's a health physical checkup that you do your X-ray, your abdominal scan, and all these other things, cholesterol check and so on. It's exactly like that. It'll come and give you a report that says that this is what is lacking in the digital listings. That's one. The second thing we'll do is we'll also provide you with analytics of in your category across zones and cities, how many searches are there for your brand, how many searches are there for competing brands, how many searches are there for the category where there's no brand mention, which are the top keywords that people are using to search for services in your domain, and what is your share of the category searches. Suppose if there are 20,000, right, and you get only 220, we'll tell you that, right? So we encourage you to reach out to us, and this is no obligation. You can end up using doing it yourself or doing others, but we'll help you with understanding where you stand today. And this can be done within 24 hours to about 48 hours because we have the technology and the AI to analyze all these things and give you a wonderful report that will tell you where you stand. And then you can decide how you want to go about doing it, right? Please reach out to my colleague, Ms. Rifa, and this is her email address, and this is her WhatsApp number. You can also put your, if you're interested in this one, you can put it in the chat, and somebody from our team will reach out to you. And again, there is no obligation to use our service. There is no cost to this, but it will give you a sense of where you stand today vis-a-vis your competition, where you stand today in terms of your ability to capture the search audience. And this we have done for, this we are actually providing this the 4 services of reputation management chat for over 50 brands all across the country, and many of them, I'm sure you recognize them: Apollo Pharmacy, Domino's, DHL, Titan, Indian Terrain, Cafe Coffee Day, Naturals, Carrot Lane, Chayos, India One, Fed Bank. So a lot of them. So, but whether my thing I would say is, whether you do it on your own, whether you choose users or use somebody else, that's a second order issue, really. The first order issue is for the organizations to wake up and saying there's a tremendous blue ocean of opportunity waiting to be tapped. And it is coming with you with a purchase intent and coming with you with no particular brand in mind. If you don't capture that, I don't know what you'll capture, right? So our suggestion is, it is not easy, but that it's not that difficult also. If you have the right tech and right integration with all such platforms, you'll be able to see the growth almost instantly. We are talking a month, 2 months, you can start seeing the growth, and for which you'll pay nothing, right? So thank you very much. And I will I will yield my floor to the organizer.
Yes, thank you so much for your insightful session. Yes, I would request attendees, if you have any questions, you can hand raise or you can unmute yourself. We have just unmute. Mitali, you can unmute yourself, dear.
Lovely. Thank you. Hi,
Hi.
Satya. I have a quick
Hi.
question for
Yeah.
which I also have a follow-up question. So the first thing is, you mentioned that 90% of the products that are bought offline. Is there a relevant source for that information, or?
Yeah, we will send it to you. We'll send it to you. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
And
we'll send it.
also it'll be great if you could add what is the kind of audience that you're talking about. Like what sec of audience, what income group are you referring to? Who are the ones who actually buy offline? That'll be
Sure.
great.
We'll take a note of it. We'll send that information to you for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, we have Balaji Mukund.
So I think here we are talking about most of the use cases where the industry is offline. I mean, what are the case studies for, say, online or process for the online industry where we are doing a digital business, and how we can use this hyperlocal?
This hyperlocal is the one way in which this can be done is because this most representation right now is about how people find products and services near to where they are, because the comfort is still in trying to find local sellers, local vendors, local businesses from where people can buy from. But oftentimes what you can do is you can have a microsite for each of those local listings, which is specific to that particular location. And that is the URL to which you will link the GMB listing. That is a Google listing, right? That appears on Google, because the Google listing has got a website link, and the website link links to a microsite that is specific to that particular store. In that store, you can showcase other offers and other things that people can buy through your online store. And because that microsite is owned by you, it is controlled by you, it is designed by you. So you can, from there, you can lead people to buy things online. That would be of value. Yeah.
Would you just help me with some case study how this was done and how did it help the business?
Case study, for example, I will showcase one to you.
You could just send it to.
No, I will show it to you online so that you can see it online, right? Right. So, for example, this is one of our clients, and so this is a microsite that is created for Gaurivakam in Velachery in one city. So here you can showcase things, for example, Forex money transfer. This thing can lead to online from there, they can do that. So this is all of their services, product ads and other things, their social media methods, their online channels, which areas they're served. This is supremely well optimized for this, right? Gold loans and are frequently asked questions. So this is one case where you can actually they can get their social feeds, right, and so on and so forth. So this is one example of where you can create a microsite that is specific to each listing, each location listing, and from there you can on that microsite you can showcase your online products, online services that people can buy.
Any data you have which says how it helped them?
Yeah, what we can do in the interest of time, if you can just share your phone number in the chat, somebody from my team will set up a, let's say, 15-minute session with you to share the data and to share the examples of other case studies where this has been done.
Sure.
But
Thanks.
this microsite is, I'll tell you, it's astonishingly powerful in terms of capturing local audience. Astonishingly powerful.
Thanks, Sachin. I'll connect with you.
Yeah.
Yes, we have one more question in the chat box by Mr. Rajiv Ranjan. He says, prerequisite is knowing consumer behavior. How does one know this before going hyperlocal?
Sorry, just let me. Prerequisite.
The question is prerequisite is
It is
knowing consumer
not.
behavior.
It's not actually. Maybe it's the question is should be reversed. What I mean is that it's not you going hyperlocal. You're already hyperlocal. In the sense, if you are a brand that sells through offline stores, you are hyperlocal by definition, right? You're not deciding to go hyperlocal. All we are saying is that because the transaction in the offline store or the branch or a bank starts with online research and online discovery, all we are saying is that it is imperative for you to master the stage of exploration by consumers and prospects that precedes the purchase offline. And almost all of it is happening online right now, right? So once you optimize that and you are discovered by consumers and prospects, that in that interaction is where you'll get to know the consumer behavior. Because people will talk to you. People will say to you, hey, I'm looking for a fridge where the freezer is below and not above, right? That is consumer understanding, consumer need. And also there's no one consumer, right? Every prospect is different. But the consumer behavior is this. Across the board, discovery starts online, exploration starts online, engagement starts online, analysis and evaluation happens online, leading to offline purchase. That's the case.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll take one last question. We have Mr. Aditya. Aditya, you can unmute yourself.
Actually, I would not put a limit because those who can't stay long can log off, but I can stay as long as it takes to answer whatever questions they are. Right. Yeah. Who's next? Who else can answer?
Mr. Aditya has some.
Mr. Aditya?
Yeah, hi. Well, my question is primarily regarding the tracking part, because we are part of the business which is primarily hyperlocal and in roughly 16 cities. So how do we track who is actually engaging with our GMB,
Sure.
clicking on the directions and other options, visiting our shop or centers without asking for their information? So how do we marry these two data points?
Sure. The two data points, as I mentioned, you can't track all of them, but in our estimate, about 60% of them you can identify who they are, because one is people either call you or either chat with you, or they download your map location and come to your store or your or your location. The fourth one is they click on a website and go there, right? So website, I showed you how it goes to a microsite, and in the microsite, you can have a form from which people share their information. That's how you get to know. Either you can ask them to set up an appointment, you can ask them to leave their information about so that people can call them back. So various ways in which you can ask them to leave a footprint on the microsite. When they call, when you put a business virtual number instead of your actual physical number, the business virtual number will track who is calling, the caller ID, which pin code they are calling from. We can infer that, and and you can know what time they called. You can record the call. You can and you can analyze the call. That's another way you can do that. And third one is when they chat. Again, you will know the identity of who is chatting because Google will share with you, and Bing will share with you the identity of the user who is chatting with you. You may not know their phone number, but you can chat back with them through the chat. But you can, of course, in the chat conversation, you can ask them for their phone number, and you can OTP verify the phone number. Then subsequently, because the chat ID of the consumer, of the prospect, is unique, you can then tie that phone number to that chat ID. From then on, you know who the user is, right? So in this one, in this hyperlocal platform, about 60% of the people, you will know who they are. And it's fantastic because that becomes your captive audience, right? And you can continue to engage with them because there's no cost, right? Imagine the power. If you say you are in 16 cities, let us say you have 200 branches, 300 branches or locations or stores, and you have over a year cultivated, let us say 15 lakh people who are engaged with you. Now they won't buy your product or service only once. Quite likely they are repeat buyers, and you can engage with them using custom slices, micro slices, right? And talk to them specifically by name. You can do that. You can say, dear Anita Sinha, this is the first anniversary of the first time you shopped with us. On this occasion, we're giving you this, right? So you can cut that slice of people who have been with you for a year. You can say International Women's Day, you can identify all the women and send a specific offer to them, whatever you want to define it, right? So that's where you can do that.
Great.
So yeah, it's truly fantastic because only two avenues which are free of cost. One is the search audience, as we explained to you in the presentation. The second free channel of marketing is talking to your own base. But to talk to your own base, first you have to cultivate that base. You have to augment that captive database.
Yeah, Varun has a question. 1 second, Varun.
Hi, Satya.
Hi, Varun.
So, Satya, one thing, at least what we have noticed, I work with this company called LiveSpace, Satya. We're a home interior design firm.
Of course.
Yeah. What we have noticed is, right, most of the searches, at least is an assumption, we don't have data to prove it, is that most of the customers who come to our GMB page are customers who are already aware of the brand.
Yes.
Right. And then they come predominantly for direction to the stores, right? We have multiple experience centers, so they use it more for navigation, right? But as you mentioned earlier, right, but if you look at the overall category search, right, keywords, there are multiple category search keywords, right? Interior design near me, modular kitchen near me, for example, in my category, right? How do we attract that volume to our GMB page?
That's the holy grail. That's the holy grail in the sense that what you just mentioned, that most of the people who are coming to your profile are people who already are aware of the brand.
Yeah.
And they're looking to get the directions, which is, I'm sorry, I don't know enough about LiveSpace, and we can, if we want to do a custom audit, we can definitely do that.
Sure.
But that is the problem I think LiveSpace may be having, which is, see, when somebody types in LiveSpace store or experience center near me, for you to figure in that's easy. I mean, automatically you'll figure because that is the search intent of the user. He's looking for you.
Okay.
And the search engines will show you. That is not, that's not where the action is, in my opinion. It is useful in the sense somebody looking for live space and they find you.
Mm.
The real thing is for every one guy who's looking for live space, I can almost guarantee it. There would be between 20 to 100 people who are looking for the category but do not have live space in the top of the mind recall. That is where your action is. That's what you must catch.
Got it.
Because for that, they are not putting live space in that search box, right? They're saying interior decorator near me. You must appear there, and that's where you will see the organic growth, and that can be, I can tell you, that's music. That's music to the ears. Is beautiful.
And you offer services to optimize GMB pages for that.
Correct. Yeah, that's what.
Got it.
And whether how you do it, I think Varun is as I mentioned, the second order issue, but the recognition that the blue ocean is in the category search, and you must get your share of that category search. I think it starts with that. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sir.
Sure.
All right. With this, thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. Looking forward to host you all again. Stay happy and stay safe. And thank you so much, Satya sir and Varun sir, for giving us your beautiful insights and for taking your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Palak. Thank you, everyone.
No, thank you very much.